Alright guys, I had some requests from some people that wanted me to show them my full system. So I'm going to show my full system tonight. Pretty sure everybody's seen the solar panels outside, so I won't go out there, and plus it's dark, you won't be able to see anything. But as of right now, we going with this right here. It starts with the solar panels right on the other side of this wall. It comes into this box right here. You got bank 1 and bank 2 on here, and this is for my other two banks that I'm putting in. And what it does is, it comes from the solar panels and come into here. Then it comes out of there and it goes up. There the wires is right there. Goes across and it comes down the wall right there, and it comes down right here. Goes into the inverter. Once it goes into the inverter, it comes out the inverter into here and goes out to the batteries to charge up. Then you got your lines here, these two here. You got two right here. Now them lines go up. There it is. Goes across. Comes down into the breaker box here. Now what you have is, you have one on this breaker and one on this breaker. So these two top breakers here is for the grid power. Let me focus this camera. It's for the grid power for your inverters. So let's work backwards. It comes out of here, goes up, goes across, comes down, comes into the inverter here. This one here takes it out and goes in to the other room. Hold on a second. Okay, now this is my sub panel. Bag up so you can get a good view of it. Now it comes out of the two inverters and goes into this main. Comes out of this main and is distributed through the house. This is my mini split, and then you got lights, you got everything else. So everything is wired into here. And that's pretty much it. Let's take a look at the batteries. Hold on. Okay, now you got, let's start over here. You got your two hot coming out of the inverter. That brings power from the solar panels, puts it into the battery, also takes it out of the battery and puts it into the house through your DC to AC inverter. Then you have your ground. It's back in here. The ground comes around, goes through a shunt. The shunt is right back over in here. It's a shunt down here. Comes through the shunt, comes around, goes through the BMSs. The BMSs is down in there and into here. So there you go. These are your lead wires for your BMS, so it can monitor each battery bank. well, not battery bank, but each cell. This is one cell, this is one cell, that's another cell. So it monitors each one of these cells and tell you what the voltage is of each one. This is seven batteries in parallel and 7 in series, which makes 48 volts. So you have, that's pretty much the whole system. I try to keep it as simple as possible so you don't have a lot of stuff. But then you have your, let me go back out in the garage, hold on. This is the only thing left on my system I haven't talked about. This is your Renogy. This is a battery monitor. It monitors the battery. Right now we got 39% left into the battery, and we can run for 16 hours and 31 minutes on that power that's left in the battery, and that's only down to 49 volts. These inverters will take the batteries down to 40 volts, but as long as you are on grid power, at 49 volts is going to switch back to the grid. But if we didn't have any grid power, like if it was a power outage, these inverters will take the batteries down to 40 volts before they will actually shut down and turn off. This Renogy here has the shunt that I was telling you about in there, and it runs through and it's telling you the power that's actually coming out of the batteries. So this 689 watts is actually the watts coming out of the battery. This here, this 12.6 amps is actually how much is coming out. Now, you can come here and you can see this inverter here is pushing out 4 amps. Come over here. This one says 4 or 5 amps, but then you come up here and this is saying 12. That's because that Renogy is coming straight from the battery, and it's also telling you how much power both of these units here are pulling in standby mode, or how much power it's using, it's consuming itself for it to do its job. So even if you didn't have anything running through these units, they will be pulling standby power. So one day we're going to shut everything down and see just how much. I believe it was like 100, maybe 150 watts they were using in standby, but we're going to check that out one day. We're going to check that out one day. But that's everything other than the solar. But the solar's not hooked up right now. I disconnected the solar when I was putting in the new battery bank with the BMSs. But guys, I hope that helped you out. That's an overview of the whole system. And any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down here at the bottom, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. All right, guys, have a good night.